Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Chicago. Welcome to the D Tycoon Show. This is a community unity program. I am Reverend Brown, D Tycoon, and welcome to our show. We have Mr. Kofi here today with us from Black Lives Matter Chicago. Thank you for coming with us.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to basically have a conversation today and kind of talk about some things that's been going on in Chicago, because you know a lot's been going on in Chicago.
Yes, it has.
This is a live call-in show, so you are welcome to pick up your phone and call us and have any kind of questions or comments or concerns that you may want to talk about or address with us as we move on into our topics. I'm going to get a little comfortable and take my jacket off. So Kofi, you are a part of an awesome organization.
Thank you.
And we are all excited about what Black Lives Matter is doing. And, you know, you are here in Chicago with Black Lives Matter Chicago. Can you just kind of tell the viewers and myself what got you started in Black Lives Matter Chicago?
Sure. So, I've been involved in community organizing, youth outreach, programming, those kind of things for a very long time. In particular, I was involved with a community organization called the Bloom Collective. And what we did is we ended up doing community engagement pieces. And one of the ones that were very pivotal for me was we did a piece called Troy Davis, Oscar Grant, What Now?
Okay.
And at the time, Troy Davis was the brother in Atlanta where there was evidence that he wasn't guilty of a crime that he was accused of.
Okay.
So they were
Which most people usually don't be.
Right. So they were trying to get a stay of his execution.
Okay.
However, the evidence never got through the courts, and he was basically executed by the state. We believe he was an innocent man.
Wow.
Around the same time, Oscar Grant, who they made the movie Fruitville Station around, he was killed in Oakland, California, pulled off a train, handcuffed, and while he was laying flat down on the ground, they shot him in the back.
Wow.
So we wanted to have a community conversation around that, and then we did another event right after Trayvon Martin was killed called Trayvon Martin, Emmett Till, and we connected what happened to Emmett Till to Trayvon Martin,
right,
and the violence that we've been experiencing in our communities. So that, for me, was sort of the catalyst for when Black Lives Matter sort of started to gain traction and get organized. That was something that I wanted to be a part of.
Okay, I see we have callers, so we're going to take a call. But before we take a call, let's just kind of bring it a little bit home into Chicago real quick.
Sure.
The situation that happened with Rekia Boyd and how today that officer has resigned.
That's right.
I don't know if you all know out there in Chicagoland, Rekia Boyd. Let me let you tell the story a little bit more. Just kind of update the people on, for those that do not know about Rekia Boyd, a little bit about her, and then let's just talk a little bit about what has happened, this fight was now, and what recently happened.
Okay, so first and foremost, I want to give my condolences to her brother Martinez Sutton and Rekia Boyd's family. Basically, 4 years ago, Rekia Boyd was out with some friends at night in her community, and an off-duty officer in an unmarked car pulled up to them, got into a verbal altercation. They were scared of him. They were intimidated, so they started to run away from him. He proceeded to take an unregistered gun and shoot out of his window.
And he was off duty, right?
He was off duty.
Right.
This was 1 o'clock in the morning, actually not too far from his house. And he shot out the window and hit one young man in the arm, I believe.
With a hand or something like that.
Yeah, and then Rekia Boyd caught a fatal shot to the back of the head. And after this tragedy, it was just a series of events that seemed unreal. They seemed very surreal. So it was literally a 4-year process. Her family steadfast, and they fought in court tirelessly to get him convicted. But what happened was, State's Attorney Anita Alvarez at the time undercharged him. She gave him a charge of manslaughter, and he basically beat that charge. And what the judge said afterwards was, had he been charged with first-degree murder, he would be in prison.
But they knew what they was doing.
Exactly.
They set it up that way. It wasn't. Yeah. They knew that they needed to charge him as first-degree murder, but they decided to charge him in the way that they did so that he would not make it to jail. And in my opinion, Anita Alvarez, she just put that out there like she was disappointed that he didn't get charged, only because she wanted to just make the public believe that she had put up charges up against him, hoping that he would get prosecuted, knowing that he wouldn't. So that's just the truth of the matter. It's just a bunch of garbage. It wasn't it wasn't true that they even intended for him to go to jail. You do know that, right? Okay.
That's what I believe too.
All right. So it's Rakia is gone. We will never see her again, and it's sad. We cannot keep tolerating this in Chicago. Everybody that probably know Reverend Brown knows that I am a victim of police brutality, and I served for the 6th District Police Department since 2006 and helped, try to bring unity. It was a liaison between the community and the police, trying to bring them together, unity and support. Mm-hmm. We need police, but we don't need forcible police. We need peace officers. That is what we need. We don't need people acting psychotic or crazy. We do have a lot of callers, so I will take a call. You all can go ahead and send me a call. Caller, are you there?
Hello.
Hi.
I'll be quick and to the point.
Okay.
The problem is this in our community. There is money out there to help our youth, but unfortunately, the money being used for other things that our children are like. How can I put? We got somebody in our community like Colonel Sanders, and they use our children like they are the chickens, and they cut them up, and they are making money off them. And we look at this prison industrial system. As long as we let certain people in this, especially in this city, it's about 10 families that really control things. As long as we let them to be able to make money off our misery, they're going to keep on doing it. And when you look at our school system, what is being done? It's being privatized where you got certain families in the city of Chicago. It's making money off of that.
Right. That was good.
That's all I want to say. Take care.
Yeah. So he made a very good point. Thank you, caller, for that. And this is what we're talking about when we talk about criminal justice reform. When we talking about don't try to fix the system, tear it down and start over again. That's what it's about, because it's not set up for not African Americans to get nowhere really in life. It's just to set us up for destruction. It's a money pot, like he was talking about. It's a money pot, and it has to come to an end. If we could put the money in our school systems, like you said, that the money they put into these jails and building jails, it would be a whole lot better. Even if we put them into programs to renew the mindset of our men and women that may be doing some things that's not correct, politically correct, as people would say. But at the same time, you have to look at the fact that you expect police officers who are trained, who are supposed to be professional, and who are not supposed to be on any type of drugs or in gangs or any of that, but they're acting worse than the people that they so-called claim are either gangbangers or, drug addicts or so forth. We're going to take one more call. Okay. Caller, go ahead. Are you there? Caller, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, I hear you. How are you today?
Hi. I'm actually watching you as I'm speaking. Mm-hmm. I'm good, and you?
Good, thank you.
We're doing great.
Okay. I see where you're talking about the police and the police brutality. Uh-huh. I'm actually going through this right now as we speak. Mm. The police killed my son, Isaiah Jackson, in 2010.
Okay.
They shot him 3 times in the back. They say that they did recover a gun. We did go to trial. However, the jury found the officers not guilty. The
Wow.
gun that was discovered, no fingerprints, no residue on his body. They say that he was walking up shooting at their car. No bullet holes from the gun that they say was his in their car. Only bullets were from the gun that the police officers fired at him, shooting him in his back. They did a DNA swab and didn't even test it.
Wow. You know what, sister?
So
I
I'm
am
going
so
through this
sorry to
as
hear
we
that.
speak. I, uh
My condolences go out to you and your family. What I would like to do, because we're coming together, all of the organizations are coming together. We're not playing no more. We coming together in unity. And I'm going to put this over on the overhead so that you could see it. We're having an event, and that event is coming on, what is this? May 20th. On May 20th, okay, May 20th at 6458 South Peoria, that's 5458 South Peoria at 6 p.m. We are coming together. Robin Robinson is our moderator. Cliff Kelly from WVON, he's going to be there, and I will be the keynote speaker. I ask you to come out and talk about, things, suggestions that you may have to help us make things better. We are so tired of this in Chicago. We can build so many things in Chicago, but if we don't have people in Chicago, it's just a place with no people. That's right. So we have to come together and put together an action plan right away so that we can get things going to make this a better place for all of us to live.
That's right.
Okay? We're going to take another caller. Caller, go ahead. You all can send another call through. Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Daryl Humphrey, and I've been listening to the program, and one of my major concerns is when we talk about community, and we actually talk about the money that it needs to sustain the community. I think that there's something that we can do without spending money, and one thing is actually focusing on the individual family. So, there was a time when we when we didn't have much, all you had to do was sit with your family members, and everybody looked out for each other.
Right.
And we need to make sure that we put ourselves in a position where we take a look at our individual families, our extended families, and the people that are friends don't cost money. We can sit down and we can talk about structure, we can talk about discipline, we can talk about education, all that.
What the one thing that we need to talk about and make sure that we do is begin to get unity back into our community. We cannot do anything divided. Bottom line. You agree with that? We got to come together. It can't be this organization, that
I agree
organization.
with that.
We have to be together because, together we stand, divided we fall. So you made a lot of good points. I thank you, Carla, for what you said because, you're right. It was a time when we just got together and we talked about the issues. We put our action plan together and we made it happen. I'm not one to do a bunch of marches and stuff and don't nothing get done. I'm talking about let's put an action plan together and let's get something done. Whatever it is, like you said, if it's a particular family. I know we've started what we call the Justice Now movement, and that started with me and my 1-year-old and 8-year-old being attacked by the police. So we're not playing. We don't want these officers on the street, and then we're getting ready to do what you call PP4P. That's our hashtag prosecute police for perjury. They can't get off the hook like this man did because they haven't even went to their trial. So we're not playing no games. We got to fill up the streets and demand what we need. That's what's going to happen, because we want Chicago to be a place to live, not a place of where you can't even send your child to the corner to get milk without being scared that they're going to be pulled over by the police, the people that's supposed to serve and protect us, not disrespect and neglect us. So if you are an officer and you watching this, try to serve, protect. The people in Chicago is paying you with their hard-earned tax money, and you should respect that and show some love and kindness. It's not that we don't like police or we don't want police. We want police, but we want peace officers. That means keep the peace. Don't be out here being disrespectful and mistreating people. You're the professional. You're trained. Act as such. Act as such. You know? That's all we want. We want respect. We want to show respect. And we want you to do your job. And do your job in a manner that you were trained. And now you was trained to be a hood, an animal, then that's different. But from my understanding, you were trained to carry yourself as a professional. Let's be role models, officers, and do our jobs. Okay, so we got another call, but Kofi, let's talk about what you got going on coming up Saturday, June the 4th. You want to let the people know what Black Lives Matter Chicago is getting ready to have on Saturday, June 4th?
Sure. Well, I was going to use this as transition to one of the questions you had coming up about. Cause what happens time and time again, right? When you talk about police accountability, when you talk about state-sanctioned violence against our people in our community, the quick counter narrative is either all lives matter or what about black-on-black crime, right? So what we want people to understand is that Black Lives Matter Chicago cares about the entire community, right? Mm-hmm. We do care about interpersonal violence. We do care about intercommunal violence. Mm-hmm. But what we don't do is feed into the false narrative of black-on-black crime, because the reality is all ethnic groups commit crime, but what happens when you use that particular label is you stigmatize black people as if it's an inherent trait of ours to be violent, as if we're naturally pathological. And it's this great brother named Khalil Muhammad that wrote this book talking about the criminalizing of black people for over 100 years. He shows this research and he gives all this data of showing how from the politics to legislation, the policy to economics, all these different things, specifically here in Chicago, how this continued narrative around black criminalization has been a continued myth carried on throughout the entire century, since Jim Crow. Yeah. And,
oh God, you're so right.
Since all of that, right? So anyway, the point is that Black Lives Matter Chicago is specifically addressing intracommunal and interpersonal violence. And we're going to be out in the community throughout the summer, specifically in the Bronzeville community, working around, giving youth and other people in the community positive things to do. And specifically, we do have an event at the AMC Community Center right off 44th and State Street on Saturday, June 4th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll be giving free breakfast away to the community. We'll have a lot of different workshops talking about restorative justice, peace circles, community resistance to violence, and just making sure that we have a full conversation that includes the community around creating solutions, because we can talk about the problems all the time. Yes. But let's talk about solutions, and let's talk about how do we begin to implement some of those solutions.
Let me just kind of go back when we was talking about black-on-black crime. Mm-hmm. When I think about black-on-black crime, one of the first things I think about is, and I always say this, if the head ain't on straight, the body can't function. So if the head of the city is not on straight, the body of the city can't function. The people that are in charge and that's the head of the city have to do the right things in the right areas. Whatever it look like on the north side is what it should look like on the south side. Whatever it look like on the east side is what it should look like on the west side. Mm-hmm. If money is being distributed over in those areas, it should surely come over here in our areas. It shouldn't be where, the kids, because I'm an educator as well. I taught school. So I do know white folks teach their kids a lot different. Their children are getting taught a lot different than our children are getting taught in the schools over here. Mm-hmm. And I'm just keeping it 100. That's all I know how to do. So we got to be mindful of where this stuff started at, because it's always a start of something. And this is where, and it came to me. I said, now I know they're going to give me that question about black on black crime. So in knowing that, you have to look at the overall situation. And the overall situation is, it starts at the top. And it's so much. I guess we got to touch on that next week. But I just want to say this too. It starts by renewing your mind. And we got a lot of callers. I'm going to take one more call. Call, are you there? You all can send the call through. Call,
I'm
are you
going to
there?
be real quick. I first say there's money in other people's misery. If you go online, you check out this. If drugs is such an impact in our neighborhood, check out this one drug I think called Hyperdyne that we make a person craving for drugs, like for hiring much lesser. Now, there's all different types of treatments, especially on the other side of town you're talking about. They have patches, just like they do for cigarettes smoking, to withdraw people from cigarette smoking. And like I said, as long as they can keep on making money like they do on the south side of Chicago and the west side of Chicago, they don't want to get people off the drugs because why? They are making money off of it.
They making money. You're right. That was a good point, caller. Thank you for that. You're right. They making money. It's a big money thing. One more caller. Caller, go ahead. Are you there?
Hello?
Yes, I hear you. Go ahead.
Hello, yeah, my name is Maurice Brown. I'm a retired lieutenant of Chicago Police Department. I want to know, does the gentleman that's running Black Lives Matter, do he have a copy of the accountability report that was put out by the task force? And he can get a copy, I think it's at the public library or either the alderman's office. I think he should read that. The recommendations are being made to the Chicago Police Department to help out the police to be a much better, respectful person on the street when they treating African-American men and women. And I'd like to know when when is your meeting going to be going down? Because I'd like to come to your meeting.
You are welcome to come. You are welcome. You say you're a former police officer?
Yeah, yes, I am, with 33 years of experience. And during the time I was on the job, those 33 years, that we never had a police officer shoot someone in the back. I also made a recommendation that the police department use non-lethal weapons such as a net rifle gun for the
listen, we only got
rubber bullets.
Listen, we only got a few more minutes, so let me give you that information so you can make sure you be there. May 20th.
Okay, you gonna put on TV now? I'm looking at TV. You gonna put on television?
Yeah, May 20th at 6 p.m. at 6458 South Peoria. Robin Robinson will be our moderator. Cliff Kelly will be one of our speakers, and I will be the keynote speaker. That is at 6458 South Peoria. All are welcome to come. We are going to come together, put an action plan together on making this city better. We're going to make the city better. We're going to have police be accountable for their actions, the ones that's doing bad. We want police, but we want good police, not crooked officers, okay? We need police to keep order, but we don't need police that's disorderly. All right. That's it pretty much, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, to answer, he did ask me a question. Yes, I'm familiar with that. In addition to last week, similar with what Pastor Brown is doing, the family of Pierre, who was 16 years old, that was killed by police on the west side of Chicago a couple of weeks ago, they had a very similar thing. And the officer, they talked about the new reforms and things of that nature. And those all sound good. And the mayor recently got rid of IPRA, which, again, we're supposed to be, celebrating. But the reality is it still doesn't have community input. And we want what's called CPAC. We want a Civilian Police Authority Council. And CPAC would oversee policy, we review police conduct, all of that, right? So it would be people democratically elected from each of the 21 districts, and they would represent the community from those particular districts, and they would hold the police accountable. So anyway, if you want more information, please go to blacklivesmatterchicago.com, or you can find us on Facebook or Twitter as well.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us from Black Lives Matter Chicago. Kofi, we appreciate you for coming out. Everybody, we enjoyed talking with you. We will be back on next Tuesday at 6 p.m. We will be back next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m., not 6. 6:30 p.m. So I look forward to seeing all of you back here on Tuesday, and call in with your questions, comments, and concerns. We will definitely have the lines open and you can call and ask your questions. All right. It was a wonderful time talking with you all. I see you all on next Tuesday at 6:30. Have a blessed evening. Goodbye.
All power to the people.